As per usual, my table is an absolute disaster today. We are trying to learn to do awoobles, and it is both too hard and too simple. I find that the instructions are a little bit too basic and vague, like they go way too slowly for me. Like I want them to go a little bit faster, and you can't really speed them up like you could like a YouTube video. Or they're kind of like, it doesn't seem like they're explaining it well enough. Like there's a step that always feels like it's wrong. The way she describes like bringing out the needle and like leaving like 2 stitches on the hook, like always just sounds wrong. I end up having to do it not how she is describing it, because when I do it the way she describes it, I don't end up with 2 stitches. It's weird. I hope it gets a little bit faster. The package says 3 to 8 hours, and I can see this taking like 15 because of how slow the instructions go. It is Saturday. I have 1 day left of vacation, and it feels like my vacation was not much of a vacation, with so much of it being, you know, me being ill and recovering. So I'm like really behind, catching up on stuff, and still working on writing out my goals. It's been a lot more intense and a little overwhelming, if I'm being honest. Like I feel kind of overwhelmed by everything that I need to do to get things in order. I know that that's a feeling that happens often, and then it kind of settles down. Like seeing the list sometimes is more overwhelming than doing the work. So I'm trying to just remind myself that I do this every quarter, and every quarter I feel the same. I want to start reading this book, which I bought last year, and so I told myself that I would try to do this like on a daily basis. It was from an Australian author. It was right before the book depository closed, and I have been wanting to read it. It's really cute and illustrated, but I think I found it through her Instagram. Like I liked the advice she was giving on her Instagram, and I was like, I want to read her book, and I want to take notes. So that's that goal. And I've also been doing fitness and food tracking, not using like any of my apps, just like writing it down. I have this journal that I bought, I think like 2 years ago, and I never actually like finished it. Well, I mean, it's a undated journal. You do 30-day challenges in it. So I'm doing a 30-day challenge as one of my goals, even though I started it on the 3rd, so it'll go into February. But I do want to do 30 days of yoga, and I am increasing my my weekly workouts from just 3 days of lifting to 3 days of lifting and 1 day of Pilates, which is Saturdays. Saturdays are going to be my Pilates day. I have not done Pilates in at least, I'd say the last time I did Pilates was probably like March. I was doing more Pilates when I was injured, when my knee was injured. Like Pilates was perfect because it like strengthened stuff around it. It almost felt like physical therapy. And I have a very like hot and cold relationship with Pilates. Like sometimes I feel like it's great, and then other times I'm just not in a good mental like place for it. Like it feels not like enough of a workout, and I don't end up like following it. But I do want to get back into like just strengthening my mobility and having that kind of like active recovery, because I don't think of Pilates as a big workout. It's more of an active recovery thing, unless I'm doing like some sort of like intense cardio hit Pilates or something, which I don't really do. I do like traditional mat Pilates. So that's the plan for today, is to finish working on my planners, do some Pilates, do some yoga in the evening, and somewhere in between there I will also go to my mother's house to pick up some stuff that she's getting rid of that I either need to sell or just donate, possibly give to my friend's kids. It's like old toys of mine that she still keeps finding, because my mom just used to hide them anytime I tried to get rid of them, and they're just like in the closet still. So that's the big thing to do for today. And then I'm also planning on making a nice dinner tonight. It was our anniversary this week, and I had like a very simple dinner this week because I didn't like have the time to go buy something, but I did buy that nice steak yesterday. If you eventually will see it in the food haul thing. I don't know if that's going to be in this video or a separate video, but I did do a food haul as part of my also savings goals, like being more intentional about where I spend my money and how I spend my money. So that was a purchase that I made specifically to have a nice meal together and save some money by not going out. And that will be tonight's dinner. My plan is to, if I stick to Sundays as meal prep days and I do like our special dinners on Saturdays, that should give me enough time to take care of everything else. And if we stick to the plan, there will be 2 nice dates where we go out to eat. And those are already marked on the calendar because that helps me to do planning. And ideally, those will be places that are within budget. Hoping that goes as planned. So I'm gonna have my breakfast, which includes a Colombian buñuelo. I did heat it up, that's why I've been waiting for it to cool down. And one of the last 2 banana bread muffins that I made in the second round of banana bread muffins. I don't think I recorded that, but I did make a second batch of them to share with my family. So that will be that. So I read the first section of the book, which is on your inner critic. And it's funny because, like I said, it's really cute and it's illustrated and it's colorful, but it's a deep little book. She's a counselor and a wellness coach or mental health coach or something like that. She's written a few of these. She's a qualified counselor, self-development coach, trainer, speaker, and creator of the Instagram community Journey to Wellness. And that's where I first saw her little like illustrations and clips. So this is, I think, her 5th book. No, yes, I am counting that correctly. It's her 5th book. So this is 10 life-changing ideas. Each section is, I guess, a different concept. So the first section is on discovering your inner critic and your inner worth. So I just did the inner critic section, which has exercises that I marked with some tabs to come back to, because it's a lot about like how to take the negative thought spirals, stop that, and evaluate like, where is this coming from? How did I get here? You know, like, is it something in your childhood and your lived experience that led to this kind of negative thought pattern? And how can you turn that on its head and take those negative thoughts and spin them into like something factual and or compassionate or intentional to work with? So she says to take these, you know, like whenever you like are harsh on yourself, you're like, I'm ugly, I'm worthless, or whatever, like take those and turn it into a you statement and imagine yourself like either saying it to someone or actually like get a friend and say it to them. Or if you want to do it in the mirror and see how it feels to be so negative towards like an external person, and how that kind of like shakes you out of it. Like, why are you doing this to yourself? Which I know we've all heard before, like, why are we so critical of ourselves and so negative towards ourselves? So then she says to turn those statements into like something of gratitude or fact. So it's like, you know, if it's like, I am so worthless, I can never get anything done, you can say like, I am trying to be a better person and working towards X, you know, and so you like detail it out. But it's like 2 pages of exercises. So I did mark those to go back to those later, because obviously I am not in like the place right now to work on these. So these will be future exercises that I go through. I don't think negative self-talk is really like a thing that I do too much, but we all do a little bit of it. So I will come back to these exercises and evaluate it. Like she goes into like, you know, detail out like the way you talk about your body, your work, your finances, your intelligence, etc. And I know that, as obviously documented in these vlogs and budget tracking things, like my finances is one of my biggest issues. So I think there I do probably self-criticize a bit more than I do in other areas. So I will probably do it particularly with that intention and see what we come up with. But not today, not at the moment, maybe today, but not at the moment. So we'll come back to that later. But it's a good little book. we will have a lot to wrestle with. I just did my Pilates session with this little girl who wouldn't leave my side. She does love it when I get on the mat. She's a silly, silly girl who wants to stretch with her mom. Yes, you do. Good girl, big girl. Oh, the little bean. Say hello. Say hi. I have made a second cup of coffee because I am very tired. I have not really gotten back on a proper sleep schedule since I've been ill. I've just been like awake at night and not sleeping as much. So that has definitely had an impact on my energy levels. But coffee, and I really want to finalize my planning for the quarter. So that's what I'm going to work on next. Today's lunch is last night's leftovers from dinner. I did finish my project planning for the year. It is cold. It is like 50 degrees outside today, so it's a change. I don't think I'm going to get to all the things I really wanted to do today, but I do need to go to my mom's house and take care of that stuff she wants to give me, which is only going to make a bit more of a mess in my home and a bit more decision making on my part, but it has to get done. She's dragged her heels on it and now it's gonna fall to me. So that's not something I really wanted to do today, but it has to happen at some point, and better now than to keep putting this off down the road. So I'm gonna have my lunch and then I'll get dressed and go to her place. And that'll basically be my afternoon, I think. And then we'll see what I can do with the rest of my day after that. I have run out of energy. I went to my mom's place. We did the transfer of dolls. Right now, they're at my boyfriend's house because when I got home, my parking spot had been taken by my landlord and there was no other place to park within like a reasonable distance. So I said, never mind. He will bring the dolls around tonight. I did not take all of them. I can't possibly take all of them. A few of the bigger dolls, like I know that it would be too hard for me to try to ship them because they were just in really big boxes. So I decided those would be just sacrificed to the donation gods. Some of them I'm going to try to sell. I know that a few of them are like Barbie collectibles that people like still talk about. Like some of the, I guess they were like Dolls of the World and the Legends of Ireland dolls, which were beautiful dolls that I was really into when they came out when I was in like high school and like early college days. All of these dolls are, I mean, I think the last one was maybe purchased in like 2004, so these are at least 20 years old, if not more. I will keep a small handful of them, some of them because they're opened and they're nostalgic, others because I'm like, well, this is small enough that I can keep. But I am going to eBay probably the bulk of them. I'll show them eventually when I get them, but I have at least 2 Dolls of the World, 2 Ireland dolls, a few reproductions, just some Sailor Moon dolls, which I'll probably keep, and yeah, just stuff like that. Part of me wishes that we had gotten rid of these long ago, but I know that I didn't because I wanted that and I wanted to keep them. I wanted them when I got them and I wanted to like always have these things, but I realistically just don't have the space for them. And that's one of the problems with collecting is that it's really hard to have like space for collecting. I don't really do that level of collecting anymore and haven't in a long time. I think, you know, if you've been watching long enough, you'll know that I have like tiny items. I like collecting tiny things because tiny things are easier to store. If I do decide to like put them away, switch them out, they're just much more manageable than items that are large. But I'll have to figure all that out. I you know, think most of them will maybe like be worth around like the $50 range. Like they're collectibles, but they're not so rare that nobody else is selling them. And from what I saw, like that's what most of them unopened are going for. It's like 50 some odd dollars. So I'll try that and see. And if they don't sell on eBay, there's a local like toys and comics store that I think buys vintage items. I don't know if it's like a consignment thing or they just like buy them outright as merchandise, but that's my backup plan, is to maybe call them up and see if they are interested or if they even really do that. I think they do, because I've overheard them on the phone talking to people about what they will and won't buy. So that's a plan, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, if I can get any little bit of cash of them, probably give it to my mom anyhow, because, you know, she bought those things and she stored them for the most part. Some of them I think I bought myself, but any little bit counts, and I can't keep them all. They've basically filled up an IKEA bag. That gives you an idea how many dolls are in there. So I will showcase those when I have them, but for now I am going to rest for a little bit, because I do think I have just completely physically crashed for the day. I'll be making dinner later, and we might try doing more of the Wooble. I don't know how I feel about the Woobles. I was really looking forward to it, but I don't know. It's so weird. I really wish that they had like a visual, just like picture guide. I feel like I do better when I've learned crochet and knitting. I feel like I do better with a picture guide than this video guide, because the video guide just isn't quite making sense to me. Like the way she describes things just doesn't quite mesh with my visual interpretation of what I'm doing. So we'll see how well or not this dinosaur turns out. So we are making arroz con gandules and the steaks that I bought yesterday for our Saturday night dinner date. Right now these are sizzling. Gandules are about to finish in the back, and I had some chimichurri sauce from a previous dinner, so just brought it out to like warm up a bit, and that would be a nice little Saturday night dinner. I also have some salad that I will be preparing, just like a simple like lettuce salad, like nothing fancy, just to add a little bit more fiber. And I have Italian dressing as well, which is this one. I really like this brand because, much like Primal Kitchen, they also are dairy free, so I can eat them and not worry about terrible things happening. So that is, you know, what I've been doing so far with the groceries that I purchased, and hoping to continue being creative with what we bought. I am finally making tomato soup, but this is my second attempt to get the Instant Pot to work, because I have gotten the dreaded burn message already once. I am hoping that this time it doesn't. It's one of those things where, like, depending on the ingredients, especially since this is tomato and there's a lot of like sugar in tomatoes, plus there's sugar in the recipe, if it sticks to the bottom, it will give you the burn message. And that's how I always imagine it in my head. Like when I see it come up, when it beeps, I'm like, burn! It's like the most dramatic message it can give you, in my opinion. And it also means that then you have to start all over again. You have to like undo the pressure and stir it up and hope that it didn't stick to the bottom. So I'm really hoping that this time the pressure is building. I see it doing its thing. The thing is being done. It is popping steam out of the pressure valve, and hopefully it's about to magically start counting down. I'm having another cup of coffee. I'm still using my Christmas mug because I really did end up really liking this mug, and I want to get as much use out of it as possible before I put away the holiday stuff, which is this. Like, this is it. This is the holiday stuff. I didn't do any decorating. I have 2 ornaments. That is the extent of the decorating I did, but also means that putting away is easy. The bag of dolls, which, you know, you guys can see Legends of Ireland, Dolls of the World, some Chinese parasols from festivals I've been to, an American Girl, other bits and a canvas that I can play with. I'll probably do a separate video where I go through the dolls before I decide what's gonna sell. Oh God, the burn message is back. There it is. I think we're gonna have to give up and just use saute mode for the rest of it. Anyhow, it smells nice, and I guess I just have to wait for the pressure to drop before I can do anything with that. The goal is to have soup for the week. It is a tomato soup with a bean base so that it can have like a creaminess without cream. I'm excited about that. I'm gonna have that with sourdough bread, and I don't know, I'll plan something else to take with it, maybe a salad, but I want to meal prep at least the lunch days for the week. I have just been coming down from an anxiety spiral triggered by my landlords, and I don't want to really talk about it, but like nothing really happened. It's just hearing them around has sent me into a spiral after the last few interactions I've had with them last year. It's not put me in a good mental state. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. My goal today is to meal prep, do some final editing so that I can finally actually hire a proofreader at this point. And then maybe do a little recording of my planner video, because that is the other video that I want to put out for January, is an introduction to the planners I'll be using and my yearly goals. So that is to come. Well, soup is done. It turned out okay. I ended up just using the soup function and leaving like a regular lid on. I also borrowed my mom's immersion blender because I didn't want to use like my regular blender, and she had an immersion blender that she doesn't use anymore, so she actually just like thinks, you know, she's not gonna need it, so I can keep it as long as possible. That was nice because I didn't have to like burn myself multiple times pouring soup into the blender, but I did just splash myself once and it was fine. It was fine. I'll be okay. So that is done for now. I will let that cool, and then I'll put them in some jars so I can take it to work. These are 2 of the planners. So I got this one. I already put a sticker on it, and this is my HB90 planner for the big project planning. I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I love these. It's fine. They will do for the year. I have mixed feelings. If only we could all be a kitty resting on the bed, enjoying a cold day. Hello, Feek. It's the end of the day. I'm at the end of this vlog. I have had an okay Sunday. I started with like a decent day. I got some work done. I got some recording done. Those videos will be coming probably before this vlog, maybe after. I don't know. I don't know what time is anymore, but it was my goal planning video, and I also have 2 other videos coming out first next week. When this, before, after, what is time anymore? At some point you'll see my financial review and money goals videos, and then the other video will be my planners and annual like project goals. Either before or after this, you will see and you will know by then. But for now, I'm gonna wrap up this vlog here. It started initially as a day in the life, but then I decided to just stretch it out to the whole weekend. So this was my Saturday and Sunday, the first like real Saturday and Sunday of January 2025, right before I go back to work on Monday. This is it. This is my vacation done. It wasn't a very restful vacation because I was sick for like more than half of it, and then the other half was more just like trying to catch up on all the things and failing miserably at doing that because there was just more than I could possibly do. And even today I ended up having to take my boyfriend to the doctor. He has an eye infection mystery ailment, but he was worried about it, so we went to urgent care to get that looked at. And now I'm really hoping that I didn't catch anything from the people who were in the urgent care, because there were some people with some serious diseases happening. I'm over being sick, and I'm hoping that I do not catch whatever these people were coughing up. I have a fig here playing on the floor next to me. So I'm gonna end this vlog now. I hope that the week is productive but uneventful. I just want uneventful days. I want no surprises. I want days where things are smooth and expectations are met, but not things that throw everything, you know, for a loop. That is the best I can hope for, is some productive but uneventful days, and that's what I need in my life right now. So I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, evening, afternoon, night, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you soon. Bye. Also, like and subscribe if you enjoy this, because I'm trying to grow the channel, because that's one of my yearly goals. Bye.